Hey, this is JJ, and you're listening to my friend Michel Savoldi. This is JJ from the Stranglers, and you're listening to Mystery Tour Radio.
So, dear JJ, how was the Back on the Tracks UK and Ireland tour?
Well, it was great. It was very intense. It was sold out every night, and you can't ask for more. And we were pleased with the set it had because we experimented. We played a few new pieces which haven't been recorded yet, which enabled us to play them immediately after the tour, to record them really quickly.
What shall the fans expect from your forthcoming European and Italian gigs?
Well, yeah, the Italian gigs just got confirmed, I think, last week.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll try to play as much of what we did in the UK. Mm-hmm. I think that's that we found a really good set, which is new and old and medium period material, so it keeps us interested.
Which is the actual stage of the production of the new album?
Well, we've got 5 backing tracks recorded, mm-hmm. and in a few weeks' time, when we come back from the States, in the week before we go to the States, we will start putting vocals and trying to complete the track, and keyboards, and trying to complete the tracks. So it'll be, kind of 5 tracks we will have ready by the end of the summer.
Are you going to release it like next year?
I hope so, yeah. I can't see it being released this year because we've got so many things to do. But I think March next year would be great if we could. There's no rush, there are no commercial pressures on us, so it's really a great position to be.
Yeah, you decide whenever it's cool to release it.
That's right, yeah.
Which are your impressions on David Bowie's Stranglers movie?
We didn't see the completed movie mm-hmm. because there's still a few little things he needs to tweak. But I think it's a very honest movie, despite the lack of despite Paul Roberts and Hugh not wanting to be involved in it. There's enough footage of all those guys to include in it, but they didn't want to be part of it.
Okay.
So it could have been more interesting, I think.
Yeah.
But it's quite exciting, nevertheless.
How is good old Jet Black?
Well, Jet came to the premiere in London. No, he's not very well. He says himself, everything is, all the systems are shutting down.
Yeah.
But he's outlived everyone else, so, and he's, despite having been a very naughty boy, so, he's diminished, he's greatly diminished, and, but he's aware of his condition.
Yeah. And recently you have been re-releasing Felyne, an album which means a lot to me. Which are your feelings and memories about this album?
Well, I thought at the time this was very experimental album because and also it's symbolic because for me it symbolized Europe. Yeah. The North and the South. The North with synthesizers and the South with acoustic guitars. The North industrial, the South more agricultural. Yeah. And they're cliches, but they were kind of the general feeling I had. And we were marrying synthesizers with acoustic instruments, and then also syn drums, which were actually played, but they sounded, there was synthetic drums, electronic drums. So I think we married quite a lot of things together, and I don't think anyone had married electronics with acoustic guitars.
And then later on with Oral Sculpture, you also brought saxophones and so on into the sound.
Yeah, we had a brass section. We tried that for a few years. I'm not convinced it was a great idea, but it worked for a few years for us, and we had the brass section with us for 4 or 5 years. It was a saxophone, a trumpet, and a trombone. Yeah. And in fact, the the sax player formed his own band, Propeller Heads, a few years later, which did well.
Nowadays, how is the process of the composition of Stranglers music? I mean, you jam together, or individuals bring single ideas and so on?
There've always only been two people who bring the ideas to the group. At the moment, it's Baz Warne and myself. Mm-hmm. In the past, it was Hugh and myself. And, you have to have you have to initiate an idea, maybe like a little seed. Yeah. And then the more we spend time together, that seed grows sometimes into a great, beautiful tree. But initially, it's me and Baz, and then we get together and we develop out the song arrangements between the two of us. And then when we think we got something solid, we present it to Dave and Jim.
Yeah, so they arrange like the structure and they add their ideas, instruments.
Of course, yeah. That's when they invest themselves emotionally and physically in the Stranglers, and that's why all the compositions of the Stranglers are not individuals,
Yeah, and what about the lyrics?
Lyrics the same way. The lyrics are mine or Baz's, but the lyrics don't always mean that the person singing them wrote the lyrics,
Last year, Italian singer and author Enrico Gary recorded a special radio show about you, about Jean-Jacques Burnel.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I will send it to you. Have you heard the music of Decibel, the Italian new wave pioneers from the late 70s?
Yeah, you sent me CDs. Remember?
Yeah, definitely.
I thought it was great. The one I listened to the most, I can't remember it. It mentioned the Sex Pistols, the Clash, the Stranglers. But it was a great, really lovely album. It was good. Yeah, musically proficient and adventurous. So yeah, I'd like to meet him sometime.
Which are JJ's updates about Shidokan Karate and Triumph bikes?
Well, the Shidokan Karate is. I don't have so much time to spend on it. I'm teaching in London tomorrow night, but I have to. For many years it was a one-man show, and now I'm pleased to say that there are other people who are taking the responsibility. Yeah. So I'm just the figurehead now, and there are other guys or other girls who are taking responsibility for running the club. But still, I'm there sometimes still. But as you get older, it gets harder to maintain that physical form and fitness. Yeah. But it keeps me grounded. As for Triumphs, well, I've just been out on my Triumph today. Yeah. And it's great. I have just two Triumphs at the moment: an old 2004 Sprint 955. And I have Thruxton R, which is more of a cafe racer, and it's fantastic.
40 years have come and gone from your debut solo album, Euroman Cometh.
Yeah.
Which are your feelings about Europe's situation these days?
Well, I think it was still one of the greatest ideas in human history. Yeah. I think the problem has been the acceleration of trying to make a United States of Europe. I think they've done it too fast, with no consideration for the differences in different countries and within different countries, and also different cultures. So you've suddenly got lots and lots of countries who have not the same traditions as the founding countries, which creates all kinds of problems. Then you have the immigration, and no one seems to be willing to take responsibility for it. So basically, a great idea has been slightly sabotaged. Yeah. But what could have happened, it could have been reformed from within. But the structures are too inflexible at the moment. So we'll see what happens in the future. When I did Euroman Cometh, it wasn't the EU.
Yeah.
the EEC, the European Economic Community.
Yeah.
It wasn't attempting to be a nation or like America or something, you know. So things have changed.
Which memories do you have of your second album, Un Jour Parfait, and the Fire and Water record with Dave Greenfield?
Well, Un Jour Parfait was my attempt to... the French aren't very good with rock. And they are better with rap, actually. They're very good with rap, but they're not so good and not so confident with rock. So I wanted to do an album in French, mainly in French anyway, to pave the way. I'm not sure it was that successful, but it was great fun doing it at the time.
Yeah.
And the one with Dave was just to help a friend out who was making a film.
Yeah.
So we were. It was an experiment as well. I think now I would have edited a lot of it down, but at the time I wasn't so aware of that kind of thing. You know.
Yeah. One final message and greeting to the Italian fans of JJ and the Stranglers.
Well, yeah, it's I'm fucking looking forward to playing in Italy again, because we never get much of an opportunity to play in Italy, and frankly, it's because we don't get the offers, unfortunately. But it's one place where we love going to. We love meeting our Italian fans, and I think. God, it's been years since we've been to Italy, so we're really looking forward to it and making an impression. And I'm surprised we're not playing in Milan, actually.
Yeah, definitely. It's Bologna, Turin, and Rome.
Rome, yeah. Well, we haven't played in Rome for years and years, decades.
Yeah.
So, with a bit of luck, we might have an audience there. Who knows? With a bit of help from our friends, we might get an audience.